know. Today I'm kind of like in a drab mood because I was doing a lot of reading, listening, researching, and even bringing in my own personal circumstances of another epidemic, ladies and gentlemen. We our Surgeon General Vivek Murthy just released a statement. One of actually, which is kind of interesting, is one of the first of its kind in all of our history, where he's bringing awareness to the epidemic of loneliness, and that's crazy. Like, I don't know. I feel like as you live more and more, um, they're starting to put words or terms to what you live and what you feel. Like they know how to define what's happening, you know. And I just think the evolution of science and researchers and just all the data that people are gathering from social media, we're able to like identify our behaviors, our psychological things. And so loneliness
So what's the data?
it's a problem. I mean, I guess like the thing is like 1 in 2 people, adults, suffer from loneliness. And for children, it's even worse.
1 in 2. That's it. That's pretty good.
I mean, that's 1 in 2. That means like every 2 people, one of those people are suffering from loneliness. So that's basically everyone. It suffers from some form of loneliness. And like he put out, it's an 82 page advisory on like what it is, how to address it. Like I really think people should read it because I found it I didn't read all of it. But I found it informative of like how you can actually put like action items to loneliness and how to like what it is, like identifying it, what its causes are, um, and like how to treat it and why people have it. Like
Yeah,
they really,
put a link below so they can go in there.
yeah. I mean, if you Google the his advisory, you could definitely find it. But I'll definitely put a link for people to check out. But it's called Our Epidemic of Loneliness and Isolation,
Yeah, put that link in there.
you know? And like, I mean, I've suffered from loneliness and isolation. Like I feel like my loneliness has been self-afflicted. Like that, like I was reading and understanding that, people can suffer from loneliness for so many different reasons, like grief, loss, and and the big thing is social media. Social media is supposed to connect us, but it's actually disconnecting us. And he has a lot of research supporting that. And I can see that. I can see that because people in social media are always like, especially with kids and just people in general, are comparing themselves on social media, which is causing people to be like, have feelings of depression, anxiety, want to commit suicide and all that stuff. So it's a problem. Like we're inside of a social experiment. And that's one thing he's bringing to the light too. It's like these social media companies aren't being transparent with the data. Like they're telling you like, they're not allowing researchers to get this data that they're collecting on us, that could help us understand the effects of social media on mental health. So it's like a real situation. It's a real situation. So
I wonder if he was like taking in consideration of the pandemic and then
yeah.
how many people broke up with each other, how many people committed suicide during and after, including until like
Well, loneliness
current
causes all
days.
that. Yeah, loneliness causes all that. That's what
That's
I
what I'm
found
saying. So
out.
I wonder if he How old is the? I mean, what's the increments of this study?
I didn't get ages, but I mean, if he's talking about
I
young
mean,
children,
time like was it from 2020 to now or 2020 to 2022?
okay, so I did read that loneliness has been increasing as society has been having technological advances. Just in society, as over the decades, loneliness has become more in the forefront. But like we're kind of living in unprecedented times because we got hit with the pandemic, you know, and that right there, having to deal with people dying and grief, like it spearheaded loneliness. And like there's like so many things, like people don't understand how pandemic affects us, or I guess post-pandemic. Like everything affected us. Schools, programs were changed, your work life was changed, your social life. You couldn't be with people. Because he was saying like the one of the major root causes of loneliness is not having genuine or quality social connections. And it's true. Like just in my own life, I could see that, you know, like you don't have, when you're younger, you have a lot of friends. If you're popular, it just depends. It just totally depends. Everybody is suffering from loneliness from different reasons, but um I feel like there's no real genuine social connections anymore. And that's the problem.
What does that
Whether
look like?
Think about it. People are on their phones and on social media all day long and seems to be fine with that connection versus calling up a friend and going to their house and hanging out with them, or calling up a friend and going to a bar, or,
People do that.
I mean, people do that, but not on a grand level. Like a lot of people who are suffering from loneliness, they're not doing that.
Well, some people
So,
are socially awkward or have autism spectrum, and they don't know when they don't know how to talk to people, and they're introverted. These people are also better set playing games like Call of Duty and Fortnite and Division. Like they're just they're interacting with other people. For them it's better to do that than go face to face. And with a Ready Player One
well, that's why
avatar.
people are suffering loneliness because
But is that loneliness though? Because they're making friends on there. People are hooking up on there.
it's not, that doesn't, I mean, yes, you can have
This
your
is the new
community,
age. This is the age of your niece and nephew. Like they're going to grow up.
and that's
Their
why,
their generation is going to. This is normal. Roblox and
no,
what
but
else?
that's why
Sims,
they're
new Sims
saying,
games.
yeah, but that's the research. They're saying that like kids in their teens are suffering from the greatest amounts of depression, anxiety, and what is the other thing? Depression, anxiety, and suicide. That's what it was.
I know, but
Because
once
you're
when
not having human connection.
I know,
That's
but
the
when you
thing
get
that
out
people
and
aren't
grow
under
up,
that's what people aren't
no,
understanding.
they understand.
No, well, no,
Who's
that's,
people?
well, I'm just saying, like, well, I guess you, like,
No,
you
I
have to,
understand.
like, people have to have human connection. Like, yes, you could be online and you could be in your community group and whatever else, but a lot of people don't find their tribe, or they don't find like-minded individuals, or they don't find community groups that they feel like they could be a part of.
I the only thing that happens when it's in or during or after college
What?
that people don't find their tribe. I mean, more likely, like if you have like somebody like me who moves to another city and has never found their tribe, that's on me because I don't go out. I don't, and then
Right.
I'm also older, so I don't give a shit. I've had like 5 sets of friends during my lifetime, so I'm not really tripping about that. But when you're a kid, teens, 20s, like, and you haven't found your tribe yet, you graduate from a uni and then you go out in the real world and you still don't know how to interact. It's like it's
Well,
gonna be
that's because of
harder.
social
But
media.
but
They
but when
grew up
you're
with social media,
but
so
when
they
you're
don't
in
know how to
college,
react.
so when you're in college and you might find the same people who play games. Like if I was in college and I saw somebody with a Sade shirt or like a Transformer shirt, I might be like, man, that's a cool shirt, you know what I'm saying? So, and then the conversation ensues because we're in college, we're going to be seeing each other more often. So this guy is into the things that I'm into. That's why I would purposely wear like band shirts and geek shirts like that, because I'm trying to find my tribe. You know what I'm saying? And my tribe is usually amongst like gamers, anime watchers, and music lovers. You know what I'm saying? I mean, most of my friends are from music, so it's like we vibe from there.
So do
So
you
we
right? So do you have a friend or somebody that you could call and be like, "Hey, let's go do this together right now," or this weekend, let's go do this. Do you have those
yeah, I
kind of
got five. Yeah, I got
relationships?
five. Yeah,
Well, that's good. But then you're good. You're not lonely. Because that's what they were saying. It's like there's different levels of types of relationships that you need to not feel lonely. One is to have like an intimate relationship with somebody. A lot of people want that. But if they don't have that, they have the other types of friendships or relationships, then they don't feel lonely.
here's my
Or
thing. All right. Okay, good. Keep going.
real
Finish.
quick, real quick. And then
Yeah.
there's the people who are like your going out friends. And a lot of people either have that or don't. You could go out, call them up, go on vacation together, but you don't have like an everyday intimate connection. So some people need those kind of relationships. And then the other one is like work community organizations or communities that you're a part of, like your church or your synagogue, and work. You have a social life. So there's those kind of relationships where you feel supported. Now, some people might suffer from loneliness because they either have none of those or they may be in a intimate relationship but don't have like friends that they can go and do things with. Because there's people who are married or people in relationships that feel lonely. And that's what
I don't
it's
understand that.
yeah. Well, I mean, it's because if you're with somebody and they're not like, I don't know, people either
Yeah, it's
they're
weird,
not.
right? Yeah, exactly. It's weird.
No, but there's so many people in marriages who are still lonely or who still feel lonely because that man or that woman isn't able to support them
Yeah, it makes
or
no sense.
make them feel some kind of like completeness or
That
whatever. So
means
that's why.
they got together on a physical or on a like financial or a settling manner, right?
Well,
And then
whatever the
that's
case
on
may
them.
be.
I'm saying have more. I say more people put themselves in that position than anything.
Right. I mean,
They put themselves there. They
loneliness,
need to take accountability for what they did, what they
but I
do.
mean, but that was the thing, like they were saying is that it may not even be something wrong with the marriage, but people just need a deeper or a different type of connection. Like I remember growing up, people would always say, "Oh, you have friends for this, and you have friends for that, and you have friends for this situation."
Yep.
And like people need those different kind of connections. Like when a woman is in a relationship with a man, like you want to have time with your girlfriends and you want to go out, and same for guys. You know what I'm saying? It's just a part of life. And if you don't have those kind of relationships or connections or support groups, then and your marriage may just be perfect, but sometimes you need a little bit more, you need something else. And at this point in my life, I would be happy if I probably had just an intimate, what do you call it, what's the word I'm looking for, a significant other, you know or even marriage. Like I would be fine with that if I had that, but I don't even have that. Like honestly, I was thinking about it. I was like, I haven't had a committed long-term relationship in over a decade.
I think people who put themselves in that situation, I mean, that you only could blame yourself. I think you gotta. I really do believe that like your mate should be your best friend. I'm not saying that should be your only best friend, but that should definitely be your best friend. I think relationships where you never get tired of that person, you guys have fun, or you know, you guys can read each other and be like, oh, I think she needs space or he needs space or whatever. Like I think that's a good relationship. Because you could I've seen relationships where both parties just stay together the whole time and then like they're they go out all the time together, like they never separate. And I've seen relationships where they hang out with their own friends and they come together later, you know what I'm saying? But to me, like I think those relationships that they're always together is rare, and those to me are the true relationships, because you guys just those two just see the world together and they want to do things together and they're having fun and they love each other and they could be intimate and then they could have fun at the same
Yeah,
time.
it's rare.
They smell their smells, each other's smells. They know each other's vices, like they know everything about each other. And those are the best relationships. Relationships to me, that when one party goes this way and another party goes that way and then they meet later on, those are okay. I don't think they're the best, but they still work. Obviously there's stats for it. There's people who are in those kind of relationships, but to me, the best ones are the ones that they're together all the time, because it is rare, and because I do believe that your significant other should be your best friend.
Yeah, they should be your best friend, but you also may have a desire for another type of friendship. Like that's
That's
just
what,
it's
yeah,
and there's nothing wrong with that though.
I know I said that.
But I'm just saying, yeah, there's
You didn't
nothing
say
wrong with
what? Yeah, I didn't say there was. I just
it. Okay.
I be on I be on Reddit, and there's like a lot of like lonely stories on there, and I guess I went on there because I was going through a little solo dolo spell, and I was like, I wonder what other people are doing there. Are they writing out their feelings? Because Reddit seems to be a place where people are voicing their life and stuff like that on every subject. So there's one I'm on called Forever Alone, and it's pretty bad on on there. You know what I mean? Like it's everyone from loss of a significant other, or a breakup, or a death, or being autistic and awkward and not being able to relate to anybody. And I was gonna read a story, but I was like, no, I'm not gonna do that. But it just, I don't know. I feel like I try to help them out by not being harsh, but giving my tough love, because it's like what got you here? Like, why don't you do this? Or you want to lose weight, but you keep eating, or you want to go out, but you stay in and you play Call of Duty. Like, obviously you're not putting in the work, so you have to you get to put the blame on yourself somehow. And it's like they want it like this pity party with the on what they write, and it's like, bro, you're not getting a pity party, at least not from me. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, it's pathetic, dog. Like, you put yourself here, like you gotta either get yourself out of it and want this and then want to change your life, or you're gonna keep writing on Reddit. You
Right.
gotta make a move. You gotta do something. I mean,
Well, I mean, I think there's degrees or different levels of depression and anxieties and people don't know how to get out of those situations. So it might be like a deeper mental health issue. But there are people who need that tough love that would be effective,
yeah, I
I
was like,
think.
nobody's gonna kiss your ass, bro, if you gain 100 pounds. Like, you kept staying in the house, you kept playing Fortnite and throwing the controller and yelling at somebody in Milwaukee when you live in Hawaii. You know what I mean? Like, that's how you play it. You know what I'm saying? If you keep doing the same things, getting the same results, your
Right.
life's gonna be the
But
same. You gotta make it. You gotta make a change. Make that change.
Yeah, no, you're
Man
absolutely right.
in the mirror.
But a lot of people aren't able to do that for whatever reason. And like,
Unless you're like stuck somewhere, or maybe financially, or I don't know, I don't, or like an illness, like you're bedridden or something. Like I get that, that makes sense. But if you're like crying, talking about you're overweight, or nobody, you think you're ugly, or your skin's bad, or this or that, like you're the one who bought that pizza. You're the one who's staying home, on a Friday, Saturday night, Sunday, whatever, and not going to that party by yourself. You know what I'm saying? I have plenty of friends, and even me, I go to places by myself because I maybe that time or that night or that day I can't find somebody to go with, or don't want to go with, or don't want to go, and then I just go by myself because I really want to go. Like I'm not gonna let that stop me. Now if you are that kind of person, I don't want to be look stupid and be by myself. That's on you, partner. Like nobody's gonna like kiss your ass and say, "Oh, poor baby," because you don't got no friends. Like, that's on you, playboy or playgirl.
yeah, but I mean, like I'm just thinking here, listening to what you're saying, but um, for like my situation, like I said, I feel like my isolation or my loneliness
Isolation.
is self-inflicted because
Mm.
I don't want to go outside. I've been betrayed by so many people, and I don't want to like go out and, well, this is what's in my mind. It's
Okay.
like I could absolutely go outside. I have no problem walking out the door, getting in my car, spinning my bucks, and creating an amazing experience. But it's just you go through so many situations where you just kind of lose hope in people, and you just don't want to put yourself in that situation. Or like if you're so lonely, you might start making bad choices, and you'll not want to, you're not thinking clearly or in the best light. And anytime you get a little bit of attention from somebody, then you're just like all in. And that's not a good thing either.
Well, I'm
But
confused because you went out a few weeks ago. So what do you mean?
yeah, but I never meet new people. I never meet people. I mean, it's not that I'm a mean person. I'm not antisocial. But I don't meet people because, like I said, I don't want to. And I also just never see people that I'm attracted to.
So
Um,
you don't have any advice to give somebody who wants to get out of that slump? Like you need advice.
yeah, I need advice. You know what I'm
Okay,
saying?
well,
Like,
okay, here's some advice
and
then.
I'm like the most social person there is, but
Yeah, you are. It's just kind of.
and that's why this is a real,
I mean, maybe it's your environment. It doesn't inspire you because I'm out here in the big city. Like it inspires me like every day. And then when you were out here, I mean, to me, you were a new person. I was like, who the fuck is this young lady? Like you
well, no,
just did a
I've always
360.
been like that. I've always been like
No,
a
you haven't.
go-getter.
Well, I didn't see it till you came out here.
Yeah, I've always been a go-getter. But I mean, we've also just lived through the pandemic. Like I don't. It's also the anxiety of, oh, I don't really want to go into a space where there's hella people, and people don't wear masks, and there's still viruses out here. There's fungi, and like
But you
there's
did that last few weeks ago, so I'm confused.
no, but I'm just saying that's a thought. Like you don't feel comfortable all the time to put yourself in
I,
those search
but
situations.
you still do it
And I'm
because
not just saying
you don't
myself
stop.
all the time, but I'm saying this is what people are dealing with. People have anxiety, so it's not that easy for people to just be like, okay, let me go outside. Oh, I
Yeah,
gotta.
but you're like the best example to get over that because you really want to see a show. you're gonna go. You're gonna say, "F it, I got the money, I got
Right.
the
I go
time.
by
Let me go. I'm
myself.
just gonna
I went.
go." Yeah.
I'm
So
in big
you're like the
cities,
best example. Like, and then if maybe, and then
but I'm still
you're
lonely.
given,
I'm still
but you're
there by
given a chance
myself.
for somebody to talk to you though. Like, you know what I mean? Like, because
But
to
the
me,
people
like
don't
if I
talk to
see,
me.
well, I mean that's on them, right? Because they're missing out. But I'm just saying, when you go out, you're given an opportunity, and if it comes, it comes. If it doesn't, cool. Like
Right.
you
But
enjoy the
I've
show and you leave.
right. But like I've put myself
You
in.
shot your shot.
I've been shooting my shot for the last decade.
Yeah, I keep shooting. Like it's like the interviews. Like with me in my job. Like it took me like 105 times to get this job. You know, did I quit? No, I just keep going and going and going. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like a lot of
Right.
people,
But I'm just
when they
saying,
have businesses and they go out of business, they get back on the saddle again and get back and do another
right.
business. Like,
I mean, that's what life is, and that's all you have
yeah.
to do. You have to have hope. And I mean, if you don't have a higher power, if you don't have it in yourself to, get out there, like it's not gonna happen.
You
And
got
there's
also got to put yourself available too. Like again, I like the story of the chick who was like who went to the coffee shop and then she saw this other girl reading a book and she the first girl read that book already and she just took a chance and said, "Oh, you're reading, I don't know, Catcher in the Rye." And she goes, "Yeah, I just started." She's like, "Oh, I just finished that like 2 weeks ago." And then those two girls started talking and now they're like best friends ever since. You know, that's like 3 years ago. So it's like we have to put ourselves, we have to, what do you call it? We have to leave ourselves open. You know what I'm saying? Is that what I'm trying to say?
yeah, you have to leave yourself open, but there's a lot of external factors that
Opportunity. You have to give yourself. You have to make yourself like available.
right.
You know what
But
I'm
there's
saying?
a lot of external factors that allow people or people where they want to choose to be lonely and choose to be isolated. Um,
Yeah, if you want to, then
like
that's
with
all you.
gun
Yeah, you ain't gonna
violence,
meet.
like you know what I mean? Like
You ain't gonna meet anybody.
there's a lot of violence going on in our society right now. Like it's not safe for a young lady to be outside by herself at
Still,
night.
but yet they still go outside. Yet
Right, but
people
it's not
still go
safe.
outside.
But that's what I'm saying. Like these are the things that I'm dealing with. And that's why I don't like to go a lot of places. There's certain environments I'm not going into
Yeah, me
anymore.
too. There's certain places I ain't gonna go. Like,
Right. But you just never know. Like I'm just saying, like
but yeah, it could be anywhere.
society.
You can get got anywhere now.
Right.
It ain't even like urban areas
Exactly.
or certain areas. Like, no, it's like everywhere.
Right, but that's why I'm saying it's not necessarily the person not having the gumption or the get up and go or the willpower to do something. It's a lot of it's mental health. That's what it is. It's anxiety, it's your trauma not being healed from other people where you don't want to be around a lot of fake people because that's the that advisory that the guy put out. He was saying that a lot of loneliness is caused by not having quality relationships. So there's a lot of people you could go out, you could meet people at coffee shops, but for it to go somewhere is very rare. And that's what he's saying.
Well,
Like,
I mean, me being out here, I haven't met anybody new
right,
who. Oh, well, I met maybe one person, but he's married. You know, what I'm saying. But other than that, like all my, the people I know here are friends from, the other city. So it's like for me, like I still have those old friends, but I only have one one new friend who I can really call friend, who I can be like, yo, you want to go here, blah blah blah, right? But and that's like after 5 years of being living out here. So I mean, but that's
yeah.
on me too because I didn't go out, I didn't make
But I'm saying
effort, I
there's
didn't put
not good
any effort into
people.
it at all.
Like that's the thing I think is wrong with society is like there's not quality people out here. I'm sure there's somewhere because I'm a quality friend, you're a quality friend, but a lot of people have given up and that's why we're in an epidemic of loneliness and isolation is because people like a lot of the last people I got close to just went haywire, went psycho, and was on some betrayal, was on some thievery, was
Yeah, but
on
that's
some
not you, that's on
was
them.
was gossip. But I'm just saying, like my
It's like with a relationship, you don't know if this woman or
right,
this guy is
but
gonna like spaz out. You know what I'm
right, but a
saying? You
lot of
gotta take a
people
chance.
right. But I mean, and also like after going through all these situations, yes, I'll definitely make better choices and people that I invest
and,
time into.
and peep the red flags early.
Right. But, but see, that was the thing. It was like you get a little bit of attention, you're like, oh,
Yeah,
cool. But it's not,
you gotta live and learn. You got
yeah.
to live and learn.
But if there's not any quality people out here, then it's not happening.
I mean,
Like,
it's like if you break up with somebody, do you not get back on the dating apps or try again, or do you just be single for the rest of your life? You know what I mean?
I mean, you don't give up hope. You don't
Yeah,
give up
it's on.
hope.
Yeah, so yeah.
But
I mean,
I mean,
we could
I asked,
wallow and be sad
I'm
and
not
woe is me
sad.
and all this stuff. I'm not saying you, but in general, like you could be a woe is me and shit. Like I'd be doing that too. But it's like, man, if we ain't making no effort, that's on us.
Yes, but I'm just saying, like, for me, from my experience, is is not a lot of quality people out here that I want to invest any time into. I'm sure there's somewhere, but I mean, I'm not gonna lose hope, but it's just people don't have the capacity, or they're socially awkward, or they're on the video game, or they're in the house, or they rather be on social media than, like, I have friends that I was friends with since high school, and they're fine with the casual friendship, like, oh, we'll hit each other up here and there, and we'll get together when we get together. Like, there's people who think that they're your friends, but it's like, we haven't hung out in 10 years. We're not friends? Like, that's not a genuine quality relationship where you can feel safe, and a lot of people are in that position, and that's why we're in an epidemic of loneliness, and it's like a real thing. It's way more than, you know, just your internal issues. It's just the reality of society.
Well, everybody's squad is out there and they're looking for you, and you got to make some kind of effort, whether it's coffee shops or meetup or museums, or being solo, even on your part as an individual. You guys can make effort. There's some if you My thing is the shirts, man, like clothes, like always compliment clothes, and if they give you good feedback, what I'm saying, bounce back the conversation. But other than that, like, you gotta be available, you gotta be open, you gotta leave yourself, with your chest out, take that bulletproof vest off, you know what I'm saying, and just be
Right. I mean, that
vulnerable.
works. That definitely is great advice for somebody who isn't social, who isn't open, who doesn't go anywhere. But I go places. I go places. I go to festivals.
Yeah,
I
so
go
maybe
to
it's you then.
shows.
Maybe you bougie. You got a bougie friendship meter.
But then I need to find other
You're not
bougie
up to my
people.
caliber. Like,
Well, then
I don't
people
like
need
what you
to,
have on.
hey, I don't look down on nobody, but if people look at me at a certain way where they don't want to speak to me, then that's on
You
them. And
said
so,
quality, so that quality is in your opinion, right? It's in your court. So if somebody's not up to quality to you, then it's on you, right?
but
Because you're judging.
how do I know somebody's not up to quality if I don't even engage or I'm not offered the opportunity to engage in a
How will
conversation?
I know if he really loves me? Oh, you gotta make conversation, right? I feel like women have more of an intuition than we do. Like off the bat, off that one conversation on that one night, in 5 minutes, you'd be like, "Oh, this guy is cool." You know what I'm saying? And then after that, you know, depending on how the conversation goes, trade numbers or whatever, because it's just networking, right? Especially when you're in the big city, like people, it's already they already know the trick of the trade. It's like, oh, are we exchanging numbers? Cool. What I'm saying?
Right. But yeah,
You got
I
to
don't
make
know.
effort. People got to make effort. If you're in the
But
house
that's
and you
not the
start,
thing. I'm trying to tell you. I make effort. I make effort. Like, you can't just keep saying
no,
that.
you say but you're judging people though.
I'm not judging
You
anybody.
said, oh, they're not up, they're not quality.
No, no, I said I don't see people that I'm attracted to, like to where I'd want to be in an intimate relationship. But I'm saying that the Surgeon General said that for people to not feel lonely or want to isolate is because they feel that, or if they are lonely, it's because they do not have quality relationships. That's what I said. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
and they're picking.
what?
They're allowing that to happen. You know what I'm saying? Like people are so desperate for relationships that they're letting the red flags pass by instead of nipping it in the bud. And then they're not talking about
Well, you just cut them off.
they're not talking about their intentions in the beginning, and they're letting it linger just because you want a body in the bed. And it's, you know what I'm saying? But I
But
don't know.
that's definitely
Are we
not
talking
me.
about fucking or friends
I'm
or
talking
both?
about everything.
Okay.
I'm just saying relationships. Like, so
Well,
that's
friendships, relationships. What ship are we on?
all of them, every ship,
Every ship. We're on a love
every ship.
boat. We're on a love boat. We're on the Santa Maria.
Yeah. Like but it's rare. This is probably a personal thing, is that I don't see people I'm attracted to. That's on me. And I'm not looking at people for, um, I want to say physical attributes, but I guess maybe so.
I mean, you
But
maybe
that's
having
personal. I
more.
mean, but yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like that's a personal thing. But all
So
the
if you saw
other,
somebody over down yonder and you went to, I don't know, wherever the fuck you are, and would you say something to them,
I
or would
mean,
you
I'm
just let them walk by?
also, it just depends. It depends. But I am more, come from a more traditional stance where, I feel like the Bible tells me that, a man will find a good thing, like in a wife, in a woman. So like the man is supposed to find you. But if I see somebody that if I see somebody attractive, I'll speak. I have no problem speaking at all. Like that's not the problem. It's just it's no
Maybe it's
people
your
out here.
environment.
I mean,
You know what I'm saying? Maybe people,
it's not in LA either. I was in LA for 7 years and it's the same story in LA. It's the same. The people out there, I wouldn't want to know none of them people like that. And I've known a lot of people, a lot of different types of people, but they all
I don't know, bro.
showed.
Maybe it's found somewhere else. Then maybe the Yay area,
I'm
maybe
I live
Seattle, maybe Portland.
and I don't think it has to do with other places so much. I just think
So then it's you then.
it's the state of the society. I do have a high level of
Society isn't
standards.
going to change people's like dynamic as far as
Right.
like their brain and their
Right.
personality.
Yeah.
They're
And
just
I
in the
think
house.
and people are fried. Like it's like there's not many people who believe in God anymore. It's a lot of people who don't value being a good person.
There's a lot of relationships that the guy's a Jew and the girl's a Christian, the guy's a Muslim and the girl's a Catholic. Like it works.
Not
You know,
necessarily. You can't. I mean, if you want to raise your children up in a Muslim or Jewish household, you can't mix the faiths.
you could do whatever you want because that's your kid.
Right, but it
You
wouldn't.
you are
But
stopping
you're
yourself.
not equally yoked. You're not equally yoked. Like you won't be raising that kid with the same values and the same morals.
I mean, you could teach them both sides. I had both sides in my house, and they taught us both sides. And then my sister
But
went
you chose
a
not
whole
to.
different side, and I chose none.
Right, exactly.
And
So it's
that was
like,
a blessing to me because I know the truth about religion through them and everything else. So I'm glad that happened to me. But if
yeah.
I've seen it work in
But when it's
families all the
something like
time.
that like for me, like the person that I am, like that's important to me. So I would have to be because I want to be able to pray with my husband.
Okay, then go to
I would
church.
I would want to be able to,
Go
do
to
those kind of
churches.
things.
Go
So
to churches.
I'm just
Right?
saying like it's harder for me
No.
to find somebody.
Put yourself out there. Go to churches. Speed date on the churches.
But they don't
Right?
have any good churches out here. Like they had good churches. Like I watch it online.
I don't know what you want me. I don't know what to say, dude.
I know you don't. Like I have this conversation with my mom all the time, but it's not just me. Like I talk to a lot of successful women, men, all the time, and everybody. It's hard to meet people. It's hard. It's really difficult.
I don't.
So
Okay.
it is. I mean, if it
Okay.
wasn't, we would have a plethora of good quality friends. We would have, we
How will
would
you
be,
find them? What if they're not the same religion? What if they would? Can you be friends with a Muslim?
of course, I'm friends with atheists. Like but I'm talking about an intimate relationship. Like I
I mean,
wouldn't,
that's on you stopping you then.
no, it's not.
If some dude was like an atheist, but he really wanted to get with you, you would say no.
I wouldn't even,
That's on you then. That's on you.
no, because I want
Yes.
to build with somebody who has the
And that's
same
one
beliefs.
thing. That's
You have
one
to believe,
aspect. That's one
right?
aspect
But
of him of the guy.
that's the
Everything else is
major.
cool. Everything else is cool.
Yeah, but that's the one
Okay.
that matters most.
Okay.
Like that's my number one. Like it's not
Okay.
money. Like you could ride a bus, you could drive a bus or whatever the argument is this week. But if you don't know the Lord, no. I'm sorry.
Okay.
We can't vibe. Like that's up there. That's up there for me. I'm sorry. I'm not what do you
Don't say
call it?
sorry to me. Say sorry
I'm
to
not
what's
negotiating. I'm not compromising. I don't compromise on my values and my morals and my
Okay.
beliefs.
I think like Aliana said, that's the problem. That's the problem.
Not for me. Maybe for somebody else, but not for me.
It will be. That's all
What?
right.
No, it's not. I was
You
with
gonna find somebody who's hella cool, and then like that one thing. It's always one thing. Like women don't want to compromise. They want to.
but that's you don't
He got to have
compromise
this
on your
much
faith.
money. He got
No,
to
you
be in
can't
this
compromise on your
religion.
faith. You
He got to
can't
be. He
compromise
got
on
to
your
look
faith.
like this. I'm like, man.
I'm not
He or
even
she
asking
got
for all that.
everything else. I'm just like,
Yeah,
that's crazy.
but
Even somebody who's not into religion, like if I found a woman who was like hardcore Muslim or hardcore Christian, and that was the only thing that we had a discrepancy against, but everything else we work out, I'll work it out. I'll work with her. You know what I'm saying?
right, but you don't have
If she want me to go to church, I go to church. If she want me to go to mosque, I go to mosque. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna go all the time, but I'll go. You know what I'm
right.
saying? Because I want to make this work. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not gonna convert because I already know the truth. I already know what the facts on everything. But I'll go with her just to be with her. You gotta
Right.
make it work, man.
But you're
Make it work.
pleasing a person. Like
Yeah, who I love.
but I aim my goal, and this is probably why I'm lonely and
Yeah,
isolated, is
probably.
because
I think so.
but it's because I live to please God.
Okay,
So that's
okay.
it.
So it's on you then. This whole time, this whole thing. That's what I'm saying.
That's why I
This
said from the beginning, I self
okay.
isolate. Like I self isolate
Yeah, you
because
did say that, and I said it too.
I
I said
don't.
everybody who's by themselves needs to take accountability on why you're by yourself. That's all I'm
Right.
saying. We saying the same
But
thing.
yeah, but when I was younger, I was sad about it. But now I can't compromise on certain
Okay,
things.
cool. But you can't complain about it either then. Because you fine. You can't you satisfied. You cool with God and that's what you good. That's what you want. You can't find it. You gonna find it. Don't find it till you
I
find
mean,
it.
I'm
Good.
gonna
As long
keep
as you're
hope.
serving your God.
No, but I'm gonna continue to hope and pray and all that stuff that he'll bless me with
I just put it
somebody
like this.
who's
And
like-minded.
I hear you, but for me it's like I'm never going to miss out on somebody again because I did that before and I missed out on something good. I missed out on a few things good just because they didn't have certain things. And I'm never going to do that
Yeah,
again.
but they were
Because
probably like surface, like that don't matter.
no. It was little things that like me being a bougie black, like I was like, man, she ain't got this or she don't
Okay,
look like
what?
this or
Like
blah, blah, blah.
what?
Like
Physical attributes?
one girl made too much money. One girl didn't make any money. One girl didn't have an education. She was dumb. One girl was skinny. One girl couldn't
But
get
that's
rid of her
surface
ex.
stuff. Yeah,
You know what I'm
that's
saying?
also yeah.
Well, it's little stuff and it's
Like
big
that
stuff.
is petty though. That is kind of petty.
Yeah, absolutely. But I was young too, though. So now my
Right.
last one came along, and she wasn't perfect either, but she was perfectly imperfect, and she was great. But you know what I'm saying. But she had all her flaws, and I'm not perfect either. So you know what I'm saying. I grew as a man, and I not let her slide, but I tolerated it, and I work with her on those aspects of her that I didn't like, and vice versa, even though we didn't work work out alone. But that was like, 3 long, good ups and down years. You know what I'm saying? So I'm glad that happened. So
Right. Well, that's cool. Hey, everybody has their things. And
mhm.
actually, the guy I was gonna marry, he was Muslim, and I was gonna marry him, but it just didn't work out. It didn't work out. We weren't equally yoked.
Obviously,
So it's not that I didn't try. Like a lot of the things I speak to where I'm like standing firm on something is because I have like tried it. I have engaged in it, but it just doesn't work. So yeah, I don't know. Life is weird and it sucks. It sucks for a
but if
lot of
you want
people.
to be around the people you want,
But I
like
don't even
if you
know.
if you want to be around the nerd, like for me, like I want to be around people who are nerdy. Then I got to go to a con. I got to go to the comic store. You know what I mean? Like I don't want to play D&D or Magic, but you know what I'm saying. But I gotta be around those, or DJ all over again, and be in that crowd, and who likes the music that I play. I'm about to burp. Excuse me. You can edit that out, or leave it in if you want. I don't care. You know what I mean? Like I gotta be in the spaces where I want to meet people that are that have we have the same, at least one same thing in common. But I gotta put myself out there. You know what I'm saying? That's why,
Yeah,
again,
absolutely.
to me, the method is like shirts, clothes. Like you gotta wear like a shirt, and then you gotta be open. There's some of you guys out, some of you guys and gals out there just look, so stoic and like, you
But
got
not
like
everybody's into style and
no, no,
looks.
no. You don't have to style. You could have like, if you're into anime, you could have like a One Piece shirt, you know what I'm saying, or a Demon Slayer shirt, and then walk around. But some of y'all don't look like you don't want to get, meet anybody, and that's a problem too. Like you gotta be open. You gotta look presentable, or that somebody can approachable. You know what I'm saying? Some of y'all
Yeah.
just walk it all
No,
just
that's true. I don't think I'm approachable. Now that I think about it, I'm not approachable.
you got the mean bitch face like.
No, no. I am never mugging nobody. I'm
Then how are you
smiling.
not then that don't make no sense then. You just making up excuses.
No, I'm just saying, like, I'll be at events and
I be smiling and shit,
maybe
and
because I have
nobody
my
approach me.
camera, like people
Maybe.
don't want to bother me or they think I'm working or whatever. I don't know. But and even times when I don't have my camera, um, I don't know. People just don't approach me. I don't know why.
Okay. Do you approach people?
No, women aren't supposed to approach people. For what? Like that's weird.
Are you talking about friends or relationships again? Or
Both,
everything? Okay, then you ain't
everything.
approaching anybody? On a friendship level, you should be approaching. On an intimate level,
But
you should
okay,
make
so
yourself available.
let me say this. At this point in my life, I'm not looking for friendships. I'm looking for lover, a lover.
Ugh, I hate that word.
So maybe that's what I need to make clear at this
Tender
point. Like
lover.
I've had friends my whole entire life and like friendships, they're not really what I need in my life unless it's like a business building, encouraging, supportive. Like I have one really good friend where we don't talk all the time because I do not have time. She doesn't have time. We're both business women, but when we do connect, maybe like on a monthly basis, we'll just talk about the Lord and like how He's blessed us and our different testimonies and stuff like that. Like that's super encouraging. That's like what I want in my life at this point in my life. But like those friendships where people are just gossiping and talking about this person and then talking about you and telling you about their whole life and asking you to do this and do that. Like, I don't want those friendships no more. Like the friendships have to be reciprocal and they have to be encouraging. Like, I don't know. When you get to your 40s, you start looking at life differently. So yeah, I'm just looking for somebody, one person I could build with. That's where I'm at.
Okay, well,
That's where I'm at with it. But one thing I did come across in my little research today, like you know how everybody was like, okay, let me just say this: the the symptoms or like the diseases that loneliness cause and isolation causes, which is making me like, I need to get a dog. I need to like really get involved in, like volunteer work or like community service. Like that appeals to me at this point in my life. Those are the kind of relation or environments I want to be in. But they were saying that loneliness, of course, causes depression, stroke, a lot of cardiovascular diseases. It's and loneliness is like smoking cigarettes every day and premature death up to 60%. Your productivity levels are down, dementia, like it's real serious. And I think that's why this guy has brought it to, this platform, a national platform about a public health crisis because and think about it, like so many people, like young people during the pandemic were dying from cardiovascular disease and heart attacks and all this stuff, but it's probably because they were lonely. Like people, we were really in the house for a year or two. You know what I'm saying? Like this is real. Like people don't understand all the post-pandemic effects, and loneliness is it's real. Like people had to do remote work, kids were homeschooled. Um, it's more than just, oh, I can't get out there. Like there's real reasons why people can't get out here because society, where we are in society in history, it's detrimental to our health. And like I guess my plea is with everyone, like Bishop was saying, one of the options is if you are making excuses of where you are and you need to, get it together and get up and get out there because it's affecting your health.
and get something.
Like get up and get something. Yeah, exactly. Like it's loneliness is affecting your life expectancy
Okay.
and your life expectancy, sorry.
Okay.
So, you know, like it's life or death at this point. Like we can't be sitting here, just hoping. Like faith without works is dead.
Works is
Oh, and then
dead.
and that was the one thing they were saying, like a lot of kids suffer from problems because they compare. Like people compare themselves so much to other people through social media. And that's causing a lot of like suicide, which is kind of scary, and depression and anxiety, having too much screen time. Like technology, it's a great tool, but it's affecting our health. And that's when we got to do
Skynet
something.
comes.
We got to do something different for
Skynet.
sure. Oh, but that's what I'm gonna say too, because during the pandemic, everybody was like, "Oh, the vaccine." All these people are having strokes and heart attacks. Oh, it's because of the vaccine, and da 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 da. But I think it could be from loneliness. It could be from loneliness.
It depends on who had the strokes, right?
Yeah, but I mean, I'm just saying it was a lot of young people. Like,
I know, but it depends on like their situation, all right.
I'm sure, but I'm just saying it could be a factor. Like, if
But
they're
if they're in a house full of people, then that's doesn't make sense. But if they're by themselves, yeah, then yeah, put that on the stat.
right, but even the idea of your whole lifestyle has changed because of a pandemic. Like, you're gonna feel isolated. You're gonna feel lonely.
Yeah, to the people who were by themselves. Yeah, there's
No,
also
but
people.
that's what you don't understand. You could still feel lonely if you're surrounded by people. Like there's people who have hundreds and thousands of friends and or let's a lot of friends, let's say 10 friends, and they still feel lonely because they don't have quality connections. Or even people like
Yeah,
that,
those aren't friends.
right. But I'm just saying, like people could be just because you're surrounded by people doesn't mean you're not lonely.
I
And
know,
I
but if
remember
you're surrounded by friends, you should not be lonely. Go.
if they're quality friends,
Yes.
but
No, you wouldn't. They wouldn't be friends if they're not quality friends. They're not your friends then.
there's a lot of
They're
people
they're
who
your
act like
associates
friends.
or acquaintances.
Right. And I think that's where we are with a lot of
Yeah.
people. People have just acquaintances,
A
and that's
friend ain't
why,
a friend unless it's quality. So we don't need to
right.
add the quality friend on there.
Yeah, no, we do, because that's something. I was in a conversation with somebody recently.
Why are you calling people who aren't quality your friend then? Who don't have quality? Who don't give you utility?
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, I look at friends as held as friend. Like, if I call you a friend, like, I expect friendship. Like,
Yeah.
I don't expect acquaintance
Yes.
activity.
You don't have to say quality friend. You say friend. That's the friend. That person has
Right.
quality already.
But a
If
lot
you're
of
if
people
you're saying everybody's your friend, that's something wrong
But
with
a
you, bro.
lot of people do that. No, a lot of
That's on them.
people,
Then that's on them. Yeah. Then yeah, they're
right?
gonna
But a
be
lot of people
lonely
do
in the
that.
crowded
And
room.
people think just because you have people around you, they're your friends, and they're
Yeah,
not.
you're gonna be lonely in the crowded room.
So, like one example, or somebody was just saying too, like, because I remember with MySpace, it was MySpace days. I don't know, I was younger going through some stuff, and I had like 5,000 friends, and I'm just like, social media is so dumb. Because MySpace was kind of my first introduction to social media. And I was like, I have all these friends and I'm not doing anything. I don't have anything to do. Nobody to go with and do this and do that. I deleted my MySpace page because it was just so weird to me. It was like, you have all these friends or followers, but nobody to interact with, or
Mm-hmm.
nobody's like really in your life. So
Mm-hmm.
it was just a waste. And I deleted that page, which I wish I didn't do because I didn't realize social media numbers matter. And that those numbers would have helped me as I transferred over to Facebook and Instagram. But
Remember
hey.
when Justin Timberlake bought MySpace? He tried to make it
Mhm.
like a music
Oh
thing.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I do remember when they made it MySpace music.
Yeah, they're trying to make it revamp it.
Yeah, it was cool.
No, it was it
No,
failed.
I mean in the beginning it was cool, but after,
Oh yeah, yeah.
like, MySpace was fun, but when he bought it, it was nothing. It was just like a
Because
shell of a
it
page.
was doing nothing anyway. When he
Yeah.
bought it.
Oh, he also, they gave some like treatment for loneliness. Um,
What cat? The cat and the dog.
they were saying that, well, yeah, that's, be around people, um, deeply get connected, get yourself in connected, deeply connected relationships. The connect with your purpose, your values, and like I said, people.
Yeah,
And, so that's some real action steps that you can take.
yeah. If you're religious, go to church. Go to a mosque. Go to the temple. If you like comics, go to a con. Go to the comic store. If play D&D, play Magic, do whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, be amongst the people who do your hobbies.
Yeah, it's a good starting place for sure.
Yeah. Or go to meetup.com or .org or whatever the F it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, do something. Like, don't just,
Yeah. Or even if you're introverted, or that's not really but if you don't want to meet people, doing things that are in your purpose and doing things that you believe in, like different working on volunteering at different causes. You don't really
That's good.
necessarily need to meet people to not feel lonely, but when you're doing things in your purpose, it helps you to get out of that like depressive state, that
Yeah.
loneliness state. So I thought that was very interesting as well.
And don't be
So
awkward. You know you're awkward. You know you guys are awkward. Some of y'all are awkward. Stop it. You're scaring people.
yeah, but you can't tell people not to be awkward.
I just
Like
did.
Issa Rae, like, you know what I'm saying? Some people are just awkward. Like, and there's
But she
nothing
had
wrong
friends
with
though.
that. We just
She
need
had friends.
nicer individuals. You just need nicer individuals in the
No,
world
you
who are
know when
kind
you're
and compassionate, and who don't judge people for every little thing that their imperfections. Like,
you
people
know when you're
swear.
doing weird shit to other people, You know it's weird. That's all. That's what I'm saying. You know you're doing some awkward shit. Stop it. That's what I'm saying.
Like what? Like what's an example?
Like yelling out of nowhere or screaming or staring at somebody or walking
But that's
around.
weird as fuck. That's not
Yeah,
even
that's what I'm
awkward. That's
saying.
not awkward. That's weird. That's crazy. Why would you? Yeah, don't
Stalking
do that.
people,
Don't do
go to
that,
people's
people.
houses but without calling or asking weird questions. You know what I'm saying? Evasive question, not intrusive questions. Like, come on, man. There's some people who don't know how to talk to other people. Like they what's the word I'm looking for? They because of playing games and shit, they don't know how to talk to people. 20,
Right.
20, 30 years old, still, talking to girls like you like 16 years old, bro. Like,
Right. Well, that's
weird,
that's the
bro.
problem with social media. It disconnects people. Like one thing I did come across that was
Go out
really
there, touch some grass.
yeah, that too, get grounded. That was really interesting was that the kids like that are in the teenagers that are in their teens now, they are the numbers as far as them connecting to drinking and like having sex at such a young age, those it's it's not happening. Like I guess our generation we're more into like drinking and all
Yeah, we
that
were
stuff.
social.
Yeah, because we were in social environments. But
Yeah, so
now
we
that
were fucking and drinking
these yeah, but these teens now
and
they're
smoking.
they're not experimenting with sex and alcohol because of they're on social media. Like my niece, her generation, she like a lot of her friends, they don't even want cars. They have Uber, they have their friends on their phones. Like they don't need to be in each other's face all the time. Like people,
Yeah.
these kids are really living like in technology, and that's the problem.
Well, wait till
So,
they, whatever amount of them go to college, because I know it's going to be a lower amount of people going to college. But the ones who go to college, they're going to be very, very social. You can't help that.
well, we'll see. We don't know. We don't know what the kids who grew up in front of the iPads, how that's going to affect them. Like we're going to have more socially awkward, anxiety filled people. Hope
Yeah,
not,
but college
but
makes you, join clubs and talk to people. You see, you're away from your parents. You know what I'm saying? It's a whole new game.
they might just be in their dorm room on their
They
phones.
won't. No, that would ruin the whole college experience. You might
Right,
as well
but
stay home.
we're dealing not with us. We're dealing with kids who are grew up with the internet and grew up with the
I
cell
know, but
phone
the
and grew up
college,
from iPad.
the uni experience isn't going to change though.
What?
The university experience is not going to change. You know what
Right.
I'm
But if you
saying?
don't have the social skills to engage in the
You
community
will build that.
experience,
That's what I'm saying. Like when you go to a uni, you will get that. You will all the experience. You will get that.
yeah, you would hope. But
You're going to be there
that's
for 2 to 4
but
years.
The Surgeon General, that was what was in his advisory was that he's giving organizations, workplace environments, universities a detailed plan of how to engage because I guess the numbers of all organizations like across the nation at every level,
Bars.
the numbers have dwindled. Like people aren't
Mm,
involved. No, this is facts. This is what he said. Like people aren't being a part of anything anymore. Like
yeah. Well, uni
in person.
college I can see because because the affordability of it. Nobody wants student loans. Work, because of the Me Too thing, like nobody wants to talk to people anymore or want to socialize. And what was the other one?
Just like
School,
church
work.
programs or the faith-based organizations. People aren't going to those anymore, and people aren't volunteering like they were. Like people just aren't getting human connection. Like that's what I'm trying to say is like social media is taking away people wanting to have human connection. Like that's it's
Yeah,
on the down.
yeah.
Like it's
I don't disagree with that.
It's out of here. And that's a problem. Like, as humans, they're saying, like, maybe after this happens for so long, like, humans will evolve and maybe won't need other human connection. But if we don't, what it sounds like is if we don't have this human connection and these feelings of loneliness and isolation, like, our life expectancy is going to go way down. And it's already decreasing. Our life expectancy has already decreased like 1%. I mean, that's nothing, but it's a lot.
It's nothing, but it's a lot.
Well, you know what I mean? Like 1% of
One is one too many.
1% of 300 million is still like, what, 3 million, 30 million? I don't know. But like people are dying. Like this is real. Like this is ring the alarm. Y'all, like get out here. Like even
What was
myself,
that?
like now that the weather is a little bit warmer, spring is here. Like I'm really gonna just, hey, I'm gonna just give it another go. Like I'm not a quitter. I'm gonna give it another go, and hopefully this time around I'll come across my prince, and I could be on a camel somewhere in Abu Dhabi.
You mean smoking on a camel in on the beach in San Francisco?
No, never. I don't smoke no more. I don't smoke cigarettes no more.
Anyway,
But
y'all
Joe,
pray for Stacy. She find her prince in Abu Dhabi.
please, I take all prayers. I believe in prayer. And that's the thing, like Kendrick was saying, pray for me. Like prayer, woo, don't get me started. I almost started praise dancing. Almost started praise dancing real quick. But anyways, we better cut this short because I'm scared. This might have been a long one, folks. But thank you for listening. Reach out and touch a few people. Call your friends, call your mama, call your cousins, call somebody. They need you. People out here struggling. Yeah, exactly. People are out here on the struggle bus, and that was the other thing. Sorry, you guys, last note. People are ashamed to say that they are lonely and that they feel these, because you don't.
Not anonymously.
Right, exactly. But it's like, like even myself, like it was hard for me to come to terms that I was like a lonely individual. Like I'm never alone because God is always with me, but I felt like a lonely individual. But I didn't want to come to terms with that because I'm like, dang, I'm like a fly, like this and that and this and that. And you don't want to admit that because it feels like it's an L that you're lonely, but it's just life, man. This is just life. It always gets better. The best is yet to come. I'll have a great story for you guys one day. I'll send pictures from the sand dunes in Saudi Arabia when I'm with my prince. I waited this long. But anyways. Okay, bye guys.